You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We are the Madmen of Masculinity.
Your home for healthy masculinity. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
Afternoon, Madmen Mafia.
Hey, I am Kirk M. Samuels.
And I am Jason B. Kendrick.
And we are the Madmen of Masculinity.
That's right. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
For you.
Right here on your home for healthy masculinity. This is the good stuff, y'all. This is healthy masculinity.
Yeah, that's right.
Not the other stuff you be getting out there.
Yeah, all that other stuff out there. That, that's artificial sweetener.
That's right.
Masculinity kind of stuff.
Saccharine masculinity.
Yep. Hey, you know why I'm looking at my phone?
Because you're rude. Rude as hell. Look,
there's that part. But besides that part, I'm kind of rude, but I'm intentional. I'm intentionally rude.
Intentionally rude because you're sharing.
This is rude intentionality because all month long we're giving out free shares,
free shares,
and free loves. So, talk about free love. Show us some love. Hit that share button. It don't cost you nothing.
I mean, we're out here working hard, making no money, trying to educate y'all, give you a little bit of entertainment, a lot of education, a lot of good information.
It don't cost you nothing.
It doesn't cost you nothing.
Just hit share.
Help you boys out.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got a good one today.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Ooh, we got a main rapper scrapper in the studio.
Yes, we do.
We got a real one. We got a him.
It is.
We got a lot of dudes, but ain't too often we got a him in the studio.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is, if it's just the name, but they got that voice.
I don't know.
It was him and Mr. White. But I mean, they got that voice.
We were somewhere and I mentioned this guy's name and this other guy.
That'll get you some seated quick, man.
It'll get you in the VIP action. You mentioned this guy's name. I mentioned this guy's name and this other guy we're talking to didn't even know you personally. And he was like, yeah, that man, that guy's all over the place, man. Everybody knows that guy. And that guy is the one and only Mr. Barry L. Overton. How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, I am great. I'm glad to be here with you guys and excited. Man, I'm excited because I remember doing this a little over a year ago. And I mean, you guys are, approaching a year and a half and this is going strong. And again, it's a great topic and cause that you're focusing on, in regards to men. And I think, we're seeing it more and more these days that we need this bonding opportunity. So really excited for everything that you guys have been able to put together.
Well, we appreciate that because, we come over here and we just talk to each other. So it's nice to get a little feedback, a little support because, we be talking to each other anyway. That's how this all started.
I mean, and, we follow the whole thing, man. When the tide comes in, all boats rise, man. And we should be able to learn from each other, grow with each other. We should be able to support one another. We should be able to uplift one another. The only way this whole thing is going to work is if men come together. I mean, obviously women in our society are great and we're not women haters, none of that kind of stuff. The fact is the world changes when men come together and lock arms and everybody's better, period. Everybody statistically across the board, everybody's better. And so, and we like to bring not only just interesting people and great people, but topics that are relevant, topics that can impact and affect people's lives, their relationships, their finances, all that kind of stuff, man. And that's why, man, having you in the bullpen that we can call in and we want to tap the arm and call in the lefty, man, you come in with some info, man, that most people don't have at all. Hey, what is the Super Agents Collaborative?
So that's my organization. Started about 2 years ago, and it's so the company I'm with is eXp Realty. And within that company, I started an organization of other agents, and I have two other partners who we, collaborated. And it was really kind of less than 10 of us about 2 years ago. We've grown to 86 agents now that, mostly in the metro area, but we're in about 5 different states as well. And I can tell you, I set a post out today where I stole what you say all the time, the rising tide lifts all ships. And that's what it's really about for us in real estate as well, it's, you know, the collaboration instead of competition, because I've been a part of a lot of companies where I think honestly the companies kind of pit agents against one another, because they know if I can get agents competing with one another, they're all going to go out and do more business. But we said, hey, we can still go out and do business, and we can collaborate together and help one another grow instead of feeling like we're in competition with one another.
See, Kirk, people do be listening to you.
People do well every now and then. I don't know so much about a lot of people, maybe a person. And you know, again, this is unapologetically a win-win scenario here. You know, you came on board. I mean, you sponsor the show. Now you're one of our sponsors. We lift you up, you lift, man. And so, you know, you believe in us. We absolutely believe in you. But before you, like when you were in here before, you were just like a dope dude doing things around town, man. And that's why we kind of leaned on you for your info. You talked about that super agent collaborative, the post that you did. I saw over $150 million last year. $150 million.
Yeah.
Man. Oh man, that's big stuff. So you know a lot about markets, the industry, ins and outs, all that kind of stuff, man. You know, anybody around town that's in real estate knows you, period. And I've asked random people, and if they don't know you personally, they know your name. And so you're highly respected. You know, you're a G in the area. You're a him. You're a Yoda.
He's the guy.
He's the man.
Speaking of the guy, what is the deal with real estate today?
I mean,
it's the new year. Like, should we be thinking about buying houses, or should we be getting a tent?
Yeah, I mean, what's the deal, man? I mean, come on, help us out, man.
You know, we're going into one of the better times to be in the market as a buyer. You know, I'm sure you've seen over the last 2 years with interest rates going up, man, buyers have kind of get hit over the head with the mortgage payment. Sellers kind of got hit over the head because their values were not going up as fast. And honestly, we needed to slow that down because it was getting out of control, you know, a couple of years ago. So with the Fed, you know, controlling the interest rate, keeping it a little bit higher, it has stabilized things and has put buyers in a better position now. Sellers are starting to see the market move a little bit faster as well. I can tell you, perfect example, in November, December, I had listings that just sat there. And they sat there, and January 1 hits, and I had the second week of January, I had 4 of those properties that were sitting for a couple of months. All 4 went under contract. Wow. Had an off-market property that didn't last. Well, actually ended up going on market, and we lasted like a day on the market. You know, so things are starting to pick up, and we haven't really seen the benefits of the interest rates going down just yet. That's still to come this year. But yeah, I'm excited. You know, and the beauty of it is what I was telling my organization is we did 152 million in a down market. You know, our goal this year is $250 million. You know, so and I have no doubts that I may be shooting too low, honestly. You know, so I'm just really excited for the market and the direction that things are starting to go now.
That's it. We're done with radio. We're going to real estate.
Yeah,
I mean, Lord have mercy.
Come on, I got a spot for you.
Hey, I can do some sweet talking. So come over here.
Actually, that's a good question. If someone is in the industry, if someone is an agent or whatever, can they just? I mean, is it like, you know, the transfer portal out there? Like seriously, like can they just like leave and transfer and move around or whatever?
Yeah, you know, it pretty much is, and we see that all the time. And you know, like I said, I went from when I first started with EXP, it was me and 4 other agents, and in 2 years we've grown that to 86 agents. I got 87 coming on tomorrow. Had a conversation with someone that's actually getting their real estate license, and I expect by the time we hit the summer we'll be over 100. So. Wow. So yeah, you can call me the Coach Prime of real estate because
he's going into the portal, man. Yeah. He's getting them.
So I mean, I've heard. 'Cause I mean, it sounds like the real estate market is getting better, but then before somebody just quits their day job and jumps in, I've heard that it's usually like what the 1% are making most of the deals and most of the money. So what's going on with the other 99%? They just don't have the skill set yet, or they don't know on the right team?
Part of it is, especially when you're going from a job or when you're still in a job and you're trying to do real estate, and this is not a job, but you have to be proactive. You have to be able to, number one, find a mentor that has had success. And I always say, do what they've done to be able to create your own success. And a lot of times, one of my mottos is everybody wants a mentor, but not everyone wants to be mentored, meaning they want to find that person that can help them grow, but they're not willing to do what it takes when they find out, the sacrifice and the cost and some of the things that you just have to do, and you have to be consistent with it. And so the numbers came out for 2023 where they said 49% of real estate agents closed one deal or more. So that meant 51% of licensed realtors did not close a transaction last year.
Not any?
Wow. Not one.
Wow. So how much of like a savings you need to have before you start this real estate journey?
If I would definitely say if you have a job, that whole saying, don't quit your day job. Mm-hmm. But, again, especially in the Denver market, you can close 1 or 2 transactions and it can kind of set you up. Because, the average transaction is about $12,000, $15,000 per deal. So you close 1 or 2 and you got you a nice little nest egg to help you really grow your business. And honestly, I prefer agents that are part-time, because if you have a full-time job, it means 2 things. Number one, you have income coming in. So you're not losing your mind over, I'm not getting a deal, right now. And number 2, you got a built-in sphere of influence. Those people that you work with that's your opportunity to find out who the buyers are, who the sellers are in your market. I did that. I've been in real estate 23 years. My first 12, I was working as a police officer. And all of my business came from the Denver Police Department, Sheriff's Department, and occasionally from the fire department.
Y'all write that down. See, that's some nuggets of wisdom right there. Write that down. You need to remember that.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, because, I know a lot of brokers and a lot of real estate companies where they say you can't be successful in real estate if you're not full time. I disagree with it. And I really think if you know how to work your sphere, I mean, you think about it, you go to a police department and you are the only real estate agent in that police department. Who are they? It's a know, like, and trust business. Mm-hmm. Who are they going to trust more than someone that they are working with, on the job? And I can tell you, at the time when I got in 2001, we had about 10 guys that were real estate agents and police officers. And over the course of time, it ended up, when we went through the recession in 2008, the crash, it was just me and one other guy that kind of made it through all of that. And I tell you, we had a great deal of success that whole time. Even during those down years, we had, some great success.
Well, we're going to get into, after this break, we're going to get into some specifics about what's going on in the industry market. Even, I'm going to tease it, even some ways that somebody cannot pay or not lock into these current interest rates, a way that maybe you can tap into some few years ago interest rates. We're going to tease that, but we'll be right back here in a minute with a little bit more Barry Overton on the Mad Men of Masculinity, KLDC 1220 AM. We'll be right back.
Hello, Colorado. I'm Barry Overton, your innovative real estate broker, where your goals are my top priority. In this ever-evolving market, it's crucial to have a guide who not only understands the ins and outs of real estate, but also thinks ahead and ensures you're always one step forward. With over 3 decades of expertise and commitment to leveraging cutting-edge strategies, I am dedicated to providing unparalleled service. My approach is simple: knowledge, innovation, and a steadfast dedication to your best interest. So whether you're buying or selling, I can help you navigate the real estate complexities with ease. I'm Barry Overton, transforming dreams into addresses, one home at a time. Call me today at 303-668-5433.
That's that man right there. You just saw him.
That's
Mr.
mama. There go that man.
There he
again.
is.
Mama, there go that man.
There that man again.
Hey, that man selling everybody's house. If you in the Denver metro area, and I mean, for sure, if you're in the Denver metro area, because you close enough, but even outside the Denver metro area, I mean, this guy knows what you need to know, or he knows somebody that knows what you need to know. And so we are in here with Barry Overton, our real estate guru of the area, the him in real estate in the Denver metro area for sure, and talking about just some specifics. And so you're saying that last year, considerably speaking or relatively speaking, was tough. This year, you're expecting things to kind of bounce back in terms of transactions, buying, selling, all those things. When you say, things kind of bouncing back, are you talking about just transactions? Or are you talking about house values, home values, or what do you mean specifically about things kind of bouncing back?
Yeah, I think we definitely will see bidding wars that will start if we get into the upper to mid fives, which is an expectation there. We're going to definitely see multiple offer situations. And so what I'm telling buyers right now is buy right now before that happens. And then now you're a homeowner and you're in the market, or you're out of the market and a homeowner at the time when things start to go up in value. And so you're going to see that increase. And so, yeah, I think we'll definitely start to see that probably early part of the summer.
So you don't want to be the guy that when the pandemic hit was trying to get a roll of toilet paper at the grocery store.
No.
Like, you want to be there. You want to already have yours at home on the shelf. You want to be already at home chilling when everything's going crazy buck wild out there.
Yep, garage full of toilet.
That's pretty much the way it is. So right now, is it kind of you're saying it's more of a buyer's market?
Yeah, I think it's still a seller's market only because of inventory. I think the last I saw, we have about a month and a half of inventory. So, that was the one thing that was different with these last couple of years versus, say, 2008, 2009, in that time frame. There was a point where we had like 26,000 houses on the market in the Metro Denver area. So you definitely have more houses than buyers. We still are sitting at relatively low inventory here. I think we're still under 8,000 at any given point over these last couple of years that was on the market.
And is that just counting like single family homes and up? It's not counting like apartment buildings, things like that?
Condos, townhomes, and single family. Yeah.
Wow. Because my day job, I'm running around, I see all the apartment buildings going up, and they just sprouting like mushrooms are everywhere.
Yeah, in my neighborhood, Central Park, man, they got like two separate buildings that have about 300 units each in them. So yeah, they're popping up everywhere.
So is that your next venture? You gonna buy some apartment buildings and start going that route?
I've done the real estate, the buy and hold and renting. I am actually right now looking more so at some short-term rental, not Airbnb, but more of like the traveling nurses and crash pads for airline employees. There's some areas around DIA that are perfect, for those types of opportunities, because they're close to, the Anschutz campus, obviously close to the airport. And that's the hot area. That's the up and coming area where prices are pretty good right now, because there's not the huge infrastructure of the retail and shopping and dining, but it's coming. Everything is already on, the plans are there. So once again, it's all about timing. Buying now, you get into lower prices, and all those, the infrastructure pieces come in, you're going to see the prices start to soar.
Now, this is something that you actually mentioned before, and this is probably along the lines of people who are in the investor realm. But you talked about some of the opportunities for, like you said, some of the short-term rentals and that kind of stuff. Can you unpack that a little bit?
Yeah, we're getting to a point now, because of the higher interest rates, where if you're doing a long-term rental, it may be a challenge you may just be breaking even if you're lucky, because you already have a high mortgage. Even though you're paying a high, charging a high rent, you may still be breaking even there. But again, the way that we rent property nowadays has changed over the last 10 years. And so you do have Airbnb. Airbnb is a challenge just because of all the regulations and depending on what city you're in. But anything that's a 30-day or longer lease is not considered, the short term in regards to Airbnb. So the traveling nurses is a perfect opportunity because that's, anywhere from 3 to 6 months or 3 to 9 months. And you're going to have professionals that in most cases, their housing fee is a part of whatever salary that they're getting. So it's not necessarily even something that they're coming out of pocket with, so to speak. It's already kind of implemented into the income that they're receiving. And I'm seeing them. There's a website called Furnish Finders, where you can find traveling nurses properties right here in Denver, right out there by the airport, $1,300 for a room, a bedroom, and it doesn't have a bathroom in it. You're still sharing a bathroom. So imagine having a 3-bedroom condo or a 4-bedroom house, getting $1,500 per room.
Wow.
Yeah, my wife's actually a nurse, and I think there's a couple of Facebook groups too for traveling nurses, and so you're saying that from an investment point of view, you could kind of fall in that middle ground if you have a property and decide to almost rent out the rooms, and a lot of those traveling nurses, I guess the generic kind of standard contracts, 13 weeks, and sometimes they roll them back to back and that sort of thing. But yeah, to your point, a lot of that the housing costs are kind of built in there. So you're saying though, but from an investment point of view, maybe it's a better opportunity to get a property and then to go that route and to maybe target that group of people, traveling nurses. And what about like airline employees?
Yeah, airline employees is another great one with crash pads. That's been around for years, and you're not even renting a room; you're renting a bed. In those situations, and that's in most cases let's say you have a 3-bedroom condo, but you got 3 sets of bunk beds in each room. Well, I mean, you got 6 people per room, 18 per condo, at $250 to $300 per bed that you're getting on a monthly basis. So you can see the numbers start to really add up there. And the beauty of it is, again, you're dealing with professionals that are solely there for work, and they need somewhere to lay their head, especially with the crash pads. They're there for one night. So you never have 18 people all in the same place at the same time. That's keeping them from having to rent a hotel room if they live in Phoenix, Arizona, but they're based out of Denver, Colorado. And instead of trying to fly in early on Monday morning, they come in Sunday night. So they make sure that there's no messing their flight that they're supposed to be on as a working. They come in the previous night and they have a place to lay their head and get ready for work the following day.
Now, as far as this being a better year, I know you were going to get into the secret sauce. So we might have to wait till next break, but I see we're moving to Kansas. I mean, basically they're building out so much out by the airport that we're gonna be touching Kansas soon. But are there any other areas that might be good to look at if people are thinking about buying a house or investing, or should they be looking out, towards the east side of town?
Yeah, right now, because that's where all the open land is, but it goes all the way really from Brighton all the way down to Parker, even into the Castle Rock. Castle Rock is another great area. And, I don't know if you guys have spent time in Castle Rock, but Castle Rock, there's some areas where you feel like you're in the mountains, so and just a lot of great development and growth. But I tell you also, if you're open to going down to Monument in Colorado Springs, their prices are, probably 2 to 5% lower than our prices here. So there's some great opportunities going down south also.
Head down south.
And now it seems like it used to be there was a space between Castle Rock and Monument and a space between Monument and the Springs. And now it's almost like as soon as you get out of the south end of Castle Rock, boom, you coming right up over the hill, and next thing you know, you right there in Monument.
There's still a couple farmers hanging on. There's a couple hanging on.
Not for long, man. Not for long. They don't start to get a little itchy, and they're gonna want to cash in that check.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of growth that's been happening, and again, you're just seeing more and more builders. And these days, builders used to wait till you come in, order a home, and then they start building from the ground up. Most builders have got away from that. They're all what we call spec home builders, where they have inventory ready to go. I got builders right now that can close this month on properties that they have. Wow. And they offer some great incentives on those. I mean, they buy the interest rates where they lock them in. So some of them have 4.99% interest rates right now, when everyone else is still in the upper sixes, and you're locking in for 30 years.
Wow. And so to your point, there used to be a stigma of, man, if I go get a builder, man, I can't move in for, until next year, end of the year. I want to move in Christmas. I want to move in now, kind of thing. And so that used to be a stigma back in the day, but sounds like that may not necessarily be the case anymore.
No, that it's definitely been one of those things where they are looking to move more properties faster. So, and part of how they're able to keep their pricing down is if they're not building custom or semi-custom, and they're basically saying, okay, this is the counter, this is the cabinets, this is the flooring that we're going to put in, and they buy all those materials in bulk, in mass. That keeps their costs down, instead of saying house A has this package, house B has a different package, and so forth. So now, as a buyer, you don't get the choices, but again, they're putting great quality stuff in, still in the properties, and then they're able to keep those prices down.
Yeah, near me, there's a townhome development. I forgot who the builder is, but that kind of exactly the way you say. When you go in there, you don't get to say, I want that lot with this carpet and that upgrade or whatever. They just kind of have.
You want option A, option B.
Do you want this one, or do you want
C?
that one, or do you want this one or that one? And kind of all the basics are already predetermined and that kind of stuff. So it makes sense that they can pre-plan all that stuff and buy in bulk and save. This is a new way to go. So yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, and it's a win-win. I mean, they're moving their properties. Buyers are getting great opportunities, and I can tell you, in 2021. I sold 35 houses that year. 10 of them were new construction, because 2021 was the year where buyers were getting outbid 50, 100,000 over the asking price. And I had buyers that were just frustrated. And I said, you know what, let's do new construction. There's no bidding war there. Either you get it or you don't. And you're getting a brand new house, and you're probably going to get a pretty good interest rate and pretty good incentives with it. And I went out and met with builders this weekend. There's a builder that I'm working with that's giving back $30,000 towards closing costs and to buy down the interest rate.
Wow, man! I tell you what. So unfortunately, we got to go to a break. But we're gonna, when we come back,
we're gonna talk about the secret sauce.
How you can get 3 years ago interest rates today. And y'all know how I refinanced 3 years ago, and I'm glad I did. But how you can get 3 years ago interest rates today? I know I teased it, but we got to go. We're up against a break, so we're going to come back. By the way, if you want to comment, if you got a question or something like that, or you want to comment, go to the Mad Men of Masculinity page on Facebook or YouTube and type in your comment. We'll see it live. Not any one of our personal streams. We're sharing this on several different streams and timelines. But if you go back to our page, Mad Men of Masculinity, type in a comment. We'll see it live here, and maybe we can get a question or two in before we get out. So we'll see. But until then, we'll be right back. Mad Men of Masculinity, KLDC.
Hello, Colorado. I'm Barry Overton, your innovative real estate broker, where your goals are my top priority. In this ever-evolving market, it's crucial to have a guide who not only understands the ins and outs of real estate, but also thinks ahead and ensures you're always one step forward. With over 3 decades of expertise and commitment to leveraging cutting-edge strategies, I am dedicated to providing unparalleled service. My approach is simple: knowledge, innovation, and a steadfast dedication to your best interest. So whether you're buying or selling, I can help you navigate the real estate complexities with ease. I'm Barry Overton, transforming dreams into addresses, one home at a time. Call me today at 303-668-5433.
And we're back.
That's right.
I hope you stay tuned because right now it's time for the secret sauce.
Oh man, here we go.
Barry, break it down for us, man. 'Cause I
so-
know all these people want to know how do they get a interest rate from 3 years ago now.
So one of the things, again, I being a former police officer, I'm a problem solver. And the problem that we were having last year was everyone was, especially when we went into the upper 7s and 8%, buyers were not interested in purchasing. So what I started looking at actually the year prior were assumable loans and really having an understanding of how they work and how to help sellers, because again, sellers were sitting on the market because they have this house that they're trying to sell, but no one wants to buy it at a 7.5 or 8% interest rate. So what I started finding out is certain loans can be assumed. Now, a conventional loan cannot be assumed, but if you have a FHA loan, VA loan, or a USDA loan, those can potentially be assumed. What I always tell my sellers, if you go out, you have one of those loans, reach out to your mortgage company and find out if your contract agreement for your property allows it to be assumed. And then if it does, we're in business, and I sold 6 homes last year that were assumable. And I tell you, some of them, because again, it's a new idea. It's been around for years, but we only had to use it really last year. So I had some sellers that were kind of reluctant because it does take a little bit longer of a process. Instead of a 30-day close, it could be a 60 or a 90-day close. But I had sellers that were sitting on the market for a period of, already sitting on the market 90 days and not getting any bites. And the moment we changed it to assumable, we had bidding wars going on again. Because you imagine, I had one that was at 2.75% interest rate. And when I can advertise that you can get 2021's interest rate today on this property, people are all over it. So it's been, and honestly, I think even though interest rates are starting to go down, they're not going to be at 2.75. They're not going to be at 3.5. So there's still going to be opportunities as a seller if you want to sell your property this way, and for buyers that want to be able to get those 2021 prices. This is the only time ever that you can go into the past and actually kind of take advantage of something from the past.
Okay, I went to public school.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know we went to public school, though two is better.
Can you explain what you mean by assumable?
Yeah, so assumable is in essence, a buyer is coming in and assuming the loan of that seller. So most sellers, whether they purchased in 2020 or 2021 or they refied, most of us took advantage of getting the lowest interest rate available. So now that seller is in the market to sell their property, and they're in a position where they can do an assumable. So that buyer has the opportunity to take over if they got 27 years on the 30-year mortgage left, they're literally stepping in. They're like taking the place of that seller and taking over their payment. So I got one right now where, again, the payment is $2,500 a month, whereas if they were buying it at today's interest rate, those buyers would be at $3,700 a month. They're saving $1,200 a month by assuming this loan.
But then how does the seller make money on so right now, when I refinanced mine 3 years ago at 2.5%, well, now my house is worth more. So if somebody is coming in and taking over my mortgage, they're taking over what it was a few years ago, not what the value is now. So how do you account for that?
Yeah. So let's say that what they're assuming is $400,000, but the house is being sold for $600,000 because the seller is still going to sell it for today's value. So we got a $200,000 gap there. So one of two things has to happen for that buyer to be able to make this happen. They have to bring that cash of $200,000. So this is not the first time home buyer type of program. This is going to be probably a buyer that just sold a property of theirs and they got plenty of equity to be able to make up that difference. Or I found a few lenders that I work with that actually offer an assumable loan product where you have to put 10% down. So let's say you don't have 200,000 to make up that difference, but you have the 10% of the 600,000. So that's 60,000. Pretty significant difference there, but it still puts you in a position where now you're assuming the 400,000, you put 60,000 down, and then you have $140,000 second. But it's still between what you're paying on that low first mortgage, and then you have this low balance on the second mortgage. They're still going to be saving a significant amount of money compared to just trying to buy it 600,000 outright.
Sounds like this is the California deal. A lot of people move from California to Colorado.
Yeah.
This is your man. This is your deal.
You're right. If you move from there and they come here and they if they can sell a house there.
I ain't trying to hate on you, Barry, but
if they can move here and bring that equity and actually get into something pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hate on you, Barry, but stop helping the California people move here.
Yeah.
Well, and that's not even California. People from the East Coast.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some towns in Texas that are going through the roof, and so there's a lot of people. A lot of people are moving to a lot of the Texas town, but there's a lot of people moving out, because they don't want to be where Elon Musk is.
Right.
And so they can come up here with that cash and do something with it.
Yeah, even Denver, people that bought in say 2018, 19, 20, they probably saw some pretty high increases in the equity. So they're in a position to be able to do this as well.
Nice. Yeah. So if they wanted to downsize or upsize, or you need an extra bedroom, or maybe the kids are out of the house, so you need to downsize, a good time to take what you got out of the extra equity out of the old house and put it into the new place. Yeah.
I would definitely say the last 2 years, my clients have not been those folks that just woke up one morning and say, we should get a new house. It's been life events that have occurred. There's been, it's babies, marriage, death, moving out of state, some type of life, as you said, downsizing, kids or empty nesting, or kids have left the house. So in most cases, that's what's been, buyers in the market these days.
Okay, I'll let you off the hook for the call. My bad.
There's some creative ways to get done, what somebody might want to get done. It sounds like.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's hope. Hope. Barry's bringing back the hope.
He keeping hope alive.
Keeping hope alive.
That's why he's in the crib, man. Barry Overton. I'm telling you, man. You a wealth of knowledge, wealth of info, a whole lot of context, all that kind of stuff.
And he puts on really good events. Some of the best events we've been to.
Obviously, you're a mentor to many. You're a business person. I mean, you do business, you do work, but a mentor to others. And then also one of your passions is just motivation and inspiring people in general to just level up to do whatever it is that they're doing, not even just in real estate. And so, your scope of vision is way bigger than just, kind of a one-lane highway.
Yeah, he was hanging out at Paisley Park not too long ago. Made me jealous. Prince's house, what the heck, man?
Playing the white guitar.
Yeah, I bet they don't let you touch that, do they?
You got to put white gloves.
You can't touch it.
Did they give you the pants with the butt cheeks out? They ain't let you try those on?
Nah,
you ain't tell them who you were?
You would be surprised how small this guy is.
Oh no, he was tiny.
Yeah.
We actually used him as an example on your Flavor of Masculinity episode not too long ago. Because it's like, you think of the alpha male, a big guy like you, like, okay, that's a man.
Yeah.
But Prince was a tiny little dude.
Yeah.
But you think he wasn't gonna steal your girl? I mean, Prince, he's a different kind of masculinity, but he was still a man.
He could probably steal some dudes. Woman.
Oh yeah, if he wanted to.
You know what I'm saying? He probably could. The last time we had you on, the topic was can a man be a king without a castle? And I think these are things that we as people, should think about, but especially, us as men being able to not only own something, but have something that can be passed down. I'm in the process of redoing my estate planning and all that kind of stuff. And it's great to have that in there. It's great to have that, basically a nest egg that I can either tap into or to pass that along. So these are important important topics. Just real quick before we go to this next break in a couple of minutes, are there opportunities to get into real estate outside the country?
Yeah, I actually have a project going in the Dominican Republic where resort properties, condos, and then another one that's going in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So I mean, there's definitely, and these are all, for the most part, U.S. citizens buying them as investment properties, Airbnb or vacation spots for themselves. But definitely opportunities outside the country.
Now brings up another question, because I've seen some of these apps where you can basically invest in real estate in like small time. Like it's almost like a 401k portfolio thing where they invest in the real estate and you buy a piece. Yeah. Are those good things, or is that kind of shady, or what's your opinion on it?
I think you got to be careful with anything online these days in regards to, because there are some that are legit out there, but they're, with every one that's legit, there's probably 10 that aren't. It's kind of the same thing with crypto, these days. But I can tell you, part of my organization, we have an investment group that does that very thing, and we have some partnerships with other entities that are looking, again, because you want to invest in real estate, but maybe you don't have all the financial means, but you got $10,000 that you can put towards a project, and you put it in, and it comes back to you at, say, 15,000, and then you reinvest in, and eventually get to a point where you're doing your own project. So I think it's definitely a direction to go.
I like the sounds of that better, because I can come down to your office if I don't like the deal.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I know where you live.
Yeah.
I thought about that exact thing earlier today, because I got an ad. I don't know. I think I was watching YouTube or something like that, or maybe it was on Facebook, and I got an ad for somebody that's coming through town, and they got this seminar, this day, and that seminar on that day, and they're going to teach you, in 90 minutes how to become a millionaire or something like that, and in real estate. And I'm not hating on nobody's hustle. I think there's something to having somebody local that knows the market, that is here, and that won't be, here carpetbagging, setting up for a day and then out of here kind of thing. Somebody that you could meet for coffee afterwards, somebody that you could go to their office, or an actual tangible person here in town. So I thought about that very specific thing. Like, man, it's possible to glean all the information that these people are coming through town to kind of pitch and sell, but for somebody locally, and to be able to have these kind of contacts and do these kind of things. And so, man, already time for another break.
Is it time before the break? Real quick, yes or no question. Tax liens, yes or no?
Yes and no. For me personally, it's kind of a no.
Yeah. I always felt like you like taking food out of somebody's mouth. Like, just, okay, you can't pay your taxes, so let me just take your house. That's just rude, man. But it's a way to do it. If you're cold-blooded, don't be cold-blooded.
Don't be cold-blooded. Be warm-blooded.
Be warm-blooded.
Just like this next break.
We'll be right back.
Hello, Colorado. I'm Barry Overton, your innovative real estate broker, where your goals are my top priority. In this ever-evolving market, it's crucial to have a guide who not only understands the ins and outs of real estate, but also thinks ahead and ensures you're always one step forward. With over 3 decades of expertise and commitment to leveraging cutting-edge strategies, I am dedicated to providing unparalleled service. My approach is simple: knowledge, innovation, and a steadfast dedication to your best interest. So whether you're buying or selling, I can help you navigate the real estate complexities with ease. I'm Barry Overton, transforming dreams into addresses, one home at a time. Call me today at 303-668-5433.
We are back on the Mad Men Show.
That's right. We're back.
I'm singing now.
Real quick, Barry, just a second ago, you were talking about differences between single men and single women in ownership.
Yeah, there was actually a study that just came out last week that showed that there are more single women homeowners than there are single men nowadays. And I didn't get to read a lot about the study. I'm not sure why that may be the case. But I think it's one of those areas where we should all be homeowners at some point in time. And I know everyone has their reasons why, but if you're paying rent, you're paying for a roof over your head. The difference is you're paying for a roof that is not going to pay you back in any form of fashion. I know that, there's folks that are like nomads or kind of live that nomad lifestyle of moving from place to place. Well, then, maybe the roof over your head is not something that you own, but what about having a roof that you go back to wherever home base is at, and you're renting it out, and you still have something that's appreciating in value. So, for me, it would be hard to ever say that just renting and not being a homeowner or some form of fashion would be the right way to go, because I just don't see that, making a lot of
That's
sense.
a perfect segue, though, Barry. And this is something that I'm gonna challenge you as a representative of that industry, because I think I've been in this situation. Is not, thank God, it's not necessarily my situation now. But there's a lot of people who have obstacles, at least, in getting into the space to be a buyer. Maybe they got credit issues, maybe they're bouncing back from whatever. And I've never seen a concern from the industry or a platform or something like that helps people kind of get from where they are to where they can be a buyer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and there's actually quite a few organizations. Operation Hope is a company or nonprofit that I work with, and one of their areas is home ownership for all people. And it's really one of those, and particularly in the minority sector. John Hope Bryant is the founder of it. He's from South Central Los Angeles, and he realized during the riots, the Rodney King riots, that it was during that time where he started seeing the economic differences and realizing that people that were in more depressed economic areas were, likely to have, bad credit, not be homeowners, and not have any ideas of how to create or build wealth. And so he started this nonprofit where they focus on helping you not just to build your credit to buy a home, but just having good credit in general. And they teach wealth management and wealth building training in high schools. I've actually taught some of those classes under their organization. So it's, you have to start, and sometimes you're starting from the ground up. And here in Denver, we have affordable housing. I actually have one of my real estate agents that started in affordable housing, where, again, the prices of the house, it's in the Central Park area. So the prices of the houses are lower than the houses around them, but it allows you to get your foot into some of the nicer areas of the city at a better price. And then when she decides to sell, she's going to be in a position where she has equity that she can take into another property. And so it's the ground floor, it's the stepping stone of, and again, if you're dealing with bad credit, we got organizations that can help you with that. There's another organization right now that I've just partnered with, and I've become an ambassador for them, where they work with single mothers and mainly single mothers of color, but they give a $10,000 grant for those women to be able to purchase, actually to use it towards a business or purchase a home. But there's actually banks right now that have grants for anyone. It doesn't matter, male, female, black, white, yellow, green. It doesn't matter. So there, I think the key is getting the right information and talking to the right person. And so not feeling like, okay, I can never be a homeowner because I have a credit issue, or I don't have the down payment. There's remedies to all those issues.
So where does somebody start if they're at that place? Where do they start? By calling you and saying, hey man, I'm here, but I want to get there. What do you recommend? I don't mean to, put you on the spot, but where does somebody get started if they don't know where to get started?
Yeah, and I do say call me, and not just because I want your business. It's because I want to see people become homeowners. I've literally had clients that I worked with for 3 years because number one, there's a fear in doing something that you've never done before. And so that's where the motivational speaking came into play, because, you know, I had to turn in Eric Thomas and Les Brown to help them to kind of get over that fear. And then, you know, working through credit issues or working through creating better income. Sometimes it takes getting a second job and having that job for a period of time so we can count that income towards you being able to purchase a home. And so again, having that mentor in real estate, someone that's going to navigate you through the process. And like I said, 3 years. So I'm not, you know, I'm in it for the long haul. I'm not in it for, oh, you're not ready to buy right now, I can't help you. No, I'm here. I tell you, the reason I do that, it's again, not the money. The money has always just came. It's my high is being able to slide those keys across the table to someone that has never owned a home and tell them, hey, you're a homeowner now, and watching those tears well up in their eyes. You know, I get off on that, you know, and it's a good feeling.
I'm not crying, you cry.
You're going to cry, and I'm going to cry, and we're all going to cry. So let me ask you something. I heard one of these wealth management guys, and of course it was like on TikTok or Instagram or something like that. And he was saying you should rent your place so that your payment is set, but you should buy a place and rent that out because of all the interest rates up and downs and the equity, those different things. So like, is that good advice if you're trying to get into real estate and you want to just buy a house and rent that out and then you live where you rent?
Yeah, I can tell you, I did this actually with my nephew, and I've had a couple of other clients that we've done this. Again, you get that first property, it's a condo or a townhome, and stay in it for, you know, 2, 3, 4 years. And instead of selling it and pulling the equity to be able to purchase the next property, you rent that property out, and you go buy another property. It's going to do two things for you. Number one, you can get like a HELOC, or you can pull some of that equity out to use for the down payment for the other property. But more importantly, now you have two properties that are primary residence loans, where it's not an investor loan. Because when you do an investment loan, you're putting 20 to 25% down, and you're paying usually about 1 point higher. So if the interest rate for residential is 7.5, you may be paying 8.5 on that investment property. But when you go from one primary and you upgrade to another primary, you're going to have the better interest rate. You're going to have the lower down payment.
Man, just dropping knowledge. I hope you people are taking notes and you're going back and rewinding. Go to YouTube, rewind if you missed something, because he is just laying out the yellow brick road for your real estate financial future.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, you can call your boy Pookie, and
hey, Pookie
just got into real estate, or somebody that's. I mean, you can start from scratch if you want to, but we're giving you the cheat code right now. And the cheat code is the password is Barry Overton.
Yes, call your man.
I mean, it's like, you know, back in the day, we used to have a video game. You go left, right, up, down.
A, B, star.
A, B, and all of a sudden you got all these extra feet. You can do all that if you want to. You can figure all that if you want to. Are we telling you right now? I mean, and again, this is all about win. This is all about helping you out, because when you're better, everybody's better. I mean, and that's kind of the whole point behind all of this. And like I said, I've been in a scenario where, you know, as soon as I gave somebody my info to run my credit, they was, you know, all of a sudden I was ghosted. You know, I've also had the opportunity just in the last couple of years to work with somebody and do some actual like credit repair. And man, that made a huge difference. I mean, I've, you know, all these kind of scenarios. I've also had the opportunity to have a house that my wife can move into. Right. And now we got, as opposed to just me, now we got two incomes living in the house. And it's pretty cool to see bank accounts begin to change when you got two incomes coming into the house, and especially when you refinance at 2.5%, if you, all these kinds of things. And so it's about the win, you know, of life. And it's about the cheat code. And like I said, the real estate cheat code in Denver is Barry Overton.
Yeah, we're going to add some of those links, some of the like the Hope Foundation. We're going to add some of those things into the comments so that they'll be on this episode, so you can click on it. And we're definitely going to put Barry's information on there, because he's the Yoda of Denver real estate, man. The force is with this dude.
Yeah. And I mean, we during these segments or whatever, we've already been at least on our stream, we've been dropping your promo in between our segments. But before we still got a couple minutes left. But before we get out of here, drop your phone number on these folks, man. They need to holler at you.
Yeah. I anytime you want to reach out, 303-668-5433. That is my cell phone. If I don't answer, leave a message. I will get back with you. Text is definitely the fastest response for me. My email address is barry@barryovertonrealtor.com. So that's another way that you can reach me. And then I'm on all the platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn as well. On there, I'm putting a lot of information just in regards to what the market is, certain opportunities that may come up. Right now, there's some great builder opportunities that you're going to see me sharing over the next couple of weeks. So love to connect with you on social.
Hit me with that phone number again, because I missed half of it.
I can see you over there typing it into the comments.
303-668-5433.
5433. And we'll add your email in as well. But you got to call this guy, because I mean, every time he comes on, I'm like, oh, there's hope for me too, because I'm a serial renter, and because of lack of education, lack of knowledge, I'm like scared to death of buying a home and feeling like I'm gonna get trapped. But every time you come on, I'm like, there is hope. I feel like I could have a house.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna take an opportunity to dry snitch on you for a minute.
Ooh.
All right. Anybody watching this on Facebook or YouTube or anything, they might be looking like, oh, he kind of fine.
Oh yeah.
Barry's married, all right. So y'all need to chill out, all right. Y'all need to back up, and slow your roll a little bit, all right. It ain't that kind of party. Put his number out there. Don't be talking about,
Don't be texting him. Don't be sliding in the DMs.
How you doing? No, it ain't that kind of party, all right. It ain't that kind of party.
How do you spell realtor? Is it TOR?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm about to put the email in, and I had a public school moment.
This is Jason's Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, my Make-A-Wish month. I'm just gonna sit over here and look pretty.
We just let him in here as his Make-A-Wish. But so it sounds like, man, this is definitely it's a good time to make a move. It's a good time to get involved in real estate transactions.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time to get on some of these builder homes and then rent those out to all the Californians coming in and steal their money. Yeah. And then you can move all wherever you want to and let them pay for it. Sounds like a plan to me.
And you probably have connections in other states, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, he's worldwide.
Yeah, we've grown into 5 states with the Super Agents Collaborative. But yeah, I got EXP has 90,000 agents, so I have access. We have what's called Workplace, which is much like Facebook, but it's solely for EXP. And yeah, so I can connect with agents pretty much all over the country. Just closed a deal with an agent in Dallas, and I'm not licensed in Texas. I'm only licensed here, but I referred her to a client and got paid off of that. So nice. Yeah, it's a great company, and it just really fits when you're looking to really kind of expand and go beyond the borders of Denver or Colorado. It's a good move for me.
Yeah, we had one of your realtors on here, Dan, and man, you guys are just awesome. That's why like every time I'm hanging out, they're like, maybe I need to switch to real estate, go work at ASP with these cool guys, because your income is the average of your 5 best friends. So maybe me and Kirk gotta get some new best friends.
New friends, man. These chumps I'm hanging out with, man.
Hey, I'm sitting right here. I can hear you.
You can hear me. Barry, man, we love you. You are a guy, man, for real. You are our cheat code for anything having to do with real estate industry. You connected us with some fantastic people. Adam was just on. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
what was that?
Last week.
Man, that was phenomenal. That dude was legit, too legit to quit, man. I'm telling you, everything he's doing with the Forge. You know, so many people, man. You refer folks left and right, man. And like I said, we just appreciate you. We look up to you, and we thank you for being part of it.
And we don't ask you on to blow you up because you're successful. We ask you on to blow you up because you just one of those dudes that are raising the tide. You're helping everybody be better, and it's what we want to do. So thank you again for coming on the show. We're going to have you back on as many times as we can.
Many times we can, man. y'all get used to hearing that name here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. Like, you got that name, you and like Barry White, you got that voice. Like, I mean, there's Barry Manilow, but he doesn't have that voice. You got that voice.
So we out of here. Holler at your boys. Check us out, madmenradio.com, Facebook, YouTube. You can see what we look like. We giving out
see these faces
free
radio
and subscribes, all these other kind of things, man. And if you're watching us online, you can hear us locally in Denver, Saturdays at 8 a.m., Wednesdays at 6 p.m. And we're just out here doing our thing, trying to do our best to make sure we put men in the best position to help lead this world in the direction it needs to go in.
Yeah, and if you don't know what AM/FM radio is, you can go to 1220kldc.com and you can stream it.
Podcast, we're out there, all the podcast platforms,
Spotify,
everywhere.
most of them.
We ain't hard to find.
Yep.
I mean, no, I don't know if that's like copyrighted.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but you can find us.
Hey, we out of here. We love y'all. We'll see you next time. We are the Madmen, and we are
Out.